Go for it.
Welcome to GetSportsFocus. I got Coach Andrew here. It is week 1, and we are ready to make our week 1 GSF weekly predictions.
I can't believe it's
I can't
week
see
1.
my arms, but I have my arms wide open right now. I'm welcoming the season. Let's go. Let's go.
GetSportsFocus is brought to you by Summit Partners, leaders in growth equity investing. WeightsandBars.com. Build your home gym and shop locally from the Bay Area's best fitness equipment experts. Ike's Love and Sandwiches. Championship level sandwiches every single time. South Bay Construction. A reputation built on trust. And by Fuel Good. Fueling your success. Conveniently located in Santa Clara off Homestead Road. For more info, go to fuelgoodmealprep.com.
Well, we might as well start with the number 1 team. If you saw the last post, which was posted late, as in like just now, both Coach Andrew and I picked the Serra Padres to finish number 1 in the WCAL. And if you watch the preview of the 2024 Serra Padres, you could kind of feel that they are onto something here. They are young. They're very young, and they could go 0-3 to start the season. But I believe that by the time week 5 rolls around, those guys are going to be ready to take it home. So anyways, I know there's going to be people commenting saying, oh, you guys are always picking the Padres, blah, 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 blah. Hey, they've won how many games? 41 and lost 4 in the last since 2019. So they're very good. The program's really good. So we're going to start with their game. Part 3, Serra versus Folsom, Friday night. Kevin Cuenca is going to be there for GetSportsFocus. It's going to be 98 degrees with some cool breeze. And the last time they were there 2 years ago, it turned into a cramp bowl for the Padres.
Right.
Also, they were cool. They were all right. They're used to it. So this is going to be a true test for both teams because Folsom is 0-2 against the Serra Padres. And Serra, a lot of the guys that are responsible for those 2 wins, they gone. They're in San Diego. They're in Tennessee. They're in Colorado. They're in Arizona. They're at San Jose State. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. So I'm going to let Coach Andrew make his prediction for this game.
Yeah. Well,
Folsom hosting Serra. Let's go.
okay. So we already discussed, like, you already brought it up, like, weather does play a factor, and we already know that this is going to be a tough game regardless. Like, you have a 5-star quarterback in Ryder Lyon. And honestly, I actually got to catch up with Coach Doherty at a weightlifting meet, and he was like, give me some love. So I'm going to give you some love, Coach Doherty. And I'm actually going to go with the Bulldogs this time around. I got you. Folsom has always been strong. I mean, you're coming off of a state championship.
State champions, yes.
You have a lot of those guys from that state championship team coming back. And if you were to put it together, like programs like Serra and Folsom, they kind of, cat's out of the bag. I think programs like that, like where they stick traditionally to what it is that they believe in, they already know what kind of program like they've kind of tried to establish. Folsom is always a force. So I'm going to go Folsom this year for week 1, going Folsom.
Wow.
By 1 touchdown.
By 1 touchdown. So what is it going to be? They demolished Long Beach Poly.
Yeah.
It was like 50, almost 60 points to like 17 or something like that. Some insane score. Like they're very good. They're very good. So you're picking Folsom. What are we doing scores this season, coach, or what are we doing?
Let's go.
We don't have to
I'm
do
gonna,
it every single time,
we
but
don't have
I
to.
think
I just think it's gonna be a one touchdown game. It's gonna be a one score game.
it's gonna be a one score
And
game. Okay.
yeah, and I think Folsom's gonna take this one.
Okay. Gotcha. Preparation is key. So I'm sure Sarah's prepared for this since January. And I did see him day one, and it didn't look like a day one practice, honestly. It looked like it was like week 2 or 3. Um, I'm still trying to adjust to the names. I don't know a lot of the guys, but I believe that I will go with my gut feeling. Serra is gonna steal this game, and I say steal because they're the underdogs. I think in this game, even though we do have them as number 1, I think we're gonna see some guys perform that we've never heard of. Well, we have, but the rest of you guys out there have never heard of. So defensively, I think Sarah's gonna rise. Offensively, I don't know yet. But yes, I do believe Sarah will win this. It's gonna be a 17-14 game. Yeah, and it's gonna come down to the very last couple of minutes.
It's a one score game on your
I'm
side.
excited to see Hennigan. They call him Henny. Andrew. I'm excited to see him perform against a high caliber team like Folsom. And also I'm excited to see Ryder like come back. I'm sure those guys are pissed off about their loss in the last 2 years. Remember that the first matchup at Folsom came down to it. The difference maker was Seamus Gilmartin forcing that fumble with like a minute left, less than 2 minutes left. And that sealed the win for Serra. And they won by what, 2 points? 3 points? Something like that. So last year was a blowout. Obviously, you got a bunch of D1 guys going against some younger Folsom Bulldogs, but I think this year they're gonna try to get the Padres. But Sarah's got the secret weapon.
You know what?
I can't say who the secret weapon is because it's a secret.
Well, I wouldn't really say like it's a secret weapon. Like, and I would actually, I kind of want to, before we move on to the next games, like, like I already kind of like said it, it's like programs like Folsom, Serra, De La Salle, if you guys haven't watched the segment on the day one of Serra on 360, really give it a listen, because especially like some of the nuggets that Coach Walsh drops in there about how he has put this program together actually has nothing to do with football. It has everything to do with how you just organize. This organization is one, and the hard work. Like these are things that you don't have to be skilled to do this. Like these are things that don't require a lot of skill, but just requires a lot of effort. So, take it any way you want it, whatever your definition of those two things are, for any of those other programs that are out there that watch, or any of those kids that want to see it. Look at what these programs do and try to define it and make it your own way. And that's how you breed success there. Success will always look different. It doesn't matter about wins and losses. It's what you do together.
Yeah. Oh. Boom. My game, St. Francis at Helix. I'm going to be going down San Diego. I got the farthest game. Kevin's got the closer game, which is still far, but I have to take, obviously, the far game. So I'm not even going to talk about Helix. I'm going for the Lancers.
Same.
Go down there. Last year, they lost to Helix. It wasn't even close. So I'm expecting them to do their thing down there. You know, it's SoCal versus NorCal in this case. I'm pulling for NorCal. I'm excited to see Kingston, Aaron, Naya, the line, all those guys perform, and the Cahoon brothers, obviously. So it should be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to the trip. And score wise, I don't know. I really
Me
don't
neither.
know.
Me neither. I just think like, it's going to be exciting. You know, all the players from St. Francis, like it's like this group, this class with Kingston, Aaron, and is it Jackson, the older one?
Jackson is the older one,
Yeah,
yeah.
with Jackson, like this is an exciting year for them. Like
Yeah.
it's like they've been looking forward to this season um a lot. Like their senior year, leave everything out there that you can as a Lancer. So I'm gonna go with them. I mean, obviously NorCal over SoCal,
Yeah,
but I don't know the score.
these two games, the Serra game against Folsom and the St. Francis against Helix, I think for these two teams, Serra and St. Francis, this is more like an internal challenge. Like, how far can you take this game as far as
Hmm.
like your performance? And obviously they started in June. Both teams started working out in June and preparing for the season. So it's more like win or lose, as long as they do what they need to do in order to prepare for the rest of the season, I think it would be a big win for both teams. So I
100%.
don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. Like I think it's you got to figure out what you still need to work on. That's
Mhm.
what the preseason's about.
Yeah.
And this is why like you want to challenge yourself so you know how to like take those challenges on. Like who knows like if you're gonna like come upon that challenge again later in the season. Um, I can attest to that watching the Panthers.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what is gonna be laid out in front of you. You just got to make sure that you're prepared for it. Like if it comes up again.
Yep. And I just want to end this segment by saying, in Kingston, we trust. There we go.
Yes.
Moving on. Riordan versus McClymonds. Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
The purple
I
people eater are going to the Mac house.
So I'm going Purple People Eaters. Honestly, hey, Chris Lawson, Sinai, Mike Mitchell, like they look great. Like they
They do.
look really good. They put in a lot of work. And honestly, you can probably even just assume like, the work that they put in was probably done together too. You can't really you can't I mean you can't say more about that. Like when a quarterback is working with their receivers all the time, like it's huge. Like that chemistry and that trust just gets deeper and deeper. We gotta really look at see what like their line. Riordan's line is gonna really determine like what it is it's gonna be this year. So this is gonna be a big one. We've seen how Mac plays, very very physical team. We've seen what they've done to you know an unnamed, we'll leave it unnamed, WCAL team. We've seen what has happened.
Sherman, you
when,
mean?
yeah, when
We got
physicality comes into it.
Oh
Yeah.
man, just memories from that traumatizing experience. Being on the Mac sideline and watching these boys just handle business. They were all going both ways and special teams, and they were not even tired. So I'm gonna pick McClymonds, and they're gonna be outnumbered. They're gonna be we really don't know who's who at Mac except for the guy at the top, which is Coach Peters. He's back.
That's
After
scary.
an emotional interview post the Bellarmine game, he was saying bye early in the season, and then he did retire, but now he's back. So I'm picking Mac. It's hard to win at Mac. That's my hood. I'm from Oakland.
It's like a party over there.
No, I mean, they mean business. They play fast and physical, and that goes all the way back to when Coach Carter was there, probably even before that. So it's going to be a really good test for Riordan to showcase what they have. This is going to be like Lawson, Sinai, all these guys, all these receivers from Riordan, all the offensive guys from Riordan. It's going to be a really good test for them to go against an elite talent like McClymonds. So I'm picking Mac just because it's going to be at McClymonds. That's the town, baby. I think they're going to handle business, but we'll see. Score wise, I think it's going to be not a blowout or anything like that. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. So I'm going to go in the 30s. I'll say it's going to be about 35-31, and I will give McClymonds the edge. Yeah, so that's my prediction. Mac House.
Okay.
Let's go.
Mac House.
All right. Grant versus De La Salle. Grant, they put away their first week opponent, 28-7. They're pretty good, Coach.
Don't know anything about Grant. I know where they're located. But I have been like, gandering about and looking at De La Salle, and De La Salle looks reloaded.
Yeah, they do.
They look really good. They look good. I would say like it's reminiscent of how good De La Salle is. And can't say was, because they are good. They are very good. So I think this is another step back to like, are we gonna have to crown another dominant Northern California team again? Is this it? Is this gonna happen again? Like,
It's
is
like
it
a tug of war between them and Serra now, and Folsom.
between those three teams? It's like you never know
Yeah.
like who it's gonna be. So I'm gonna go De La Salle on that. They have a tough schedule coming up. So, this might be what it does for them.
Well, if you ask me, Brandon Lambert, he scored 3 touchdowns last week. I believe they beat Edison. I don't know how Edison is, but their quarterback, he had a touchdown. He had a good game, but I think, I don't know, man. De La Salle, they got Robert Santiago. I think he's healthy now. And then obviously they got Toa and Derek Blanche. Yeah, this is gonna be a De La Salle game. I think this could be like a running clock type of deal. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to make predictions in week 1, but having seen De La Salle over the summer and all that, I think, yeah, they look really good. And I don't know. I would say this would be a comfortable win for them. And they're at home. It's hard to win at De La Salle.
Oh yeah, I know that.
That's
I've
football America right there.
I've played there. It's intimidating. I remember the most intimidating thing that I saw after the game, after they beat the crap out of us in high school, was the team went and did pull-ups. And I was like, damn, all right. I guess.
Moving on. We got Mitty at Logan. Did we get that right? It's Mitty at Logan, not Logan at Mitty, right? Because I think that makes a difference.
Let's double check. Logan at Mitty.
Okay. And who's the quarterback at Mitty?
We have Jonah Kronig.
Okay.
Joe Kronig.
Man, I saw him against Serra in the 7-on-7, but you can't really base everything off of 7-on-7. But I do know that they lost a big dude. Alex is now a Monarch, Mater Dei Monarch. So he went from black and gold Monarch to red, white, and black Monarch. So I think that's a big loss. But then again, Logan, I'm not sure who's returning for their team. You know what sucks is there's not a lot of information that I can find. But, you know, since it's Mitty, I'm just going to, and you're from Mitty, I'm just going to pick against Mitty just for the heck of it.
Fair.
So they're going to have to, what did we say last year? Make us proud or prove us wrong?
Prove us wrong.
Well, make me proud or
prove me wrong. Well, honestly, like with Mitty, yeah, like you got to prove a lot here. Everyone thinks that you're down. Come on, guys. Everyone thinks that you're down. No one really like is putting you guys up there, but what have you shown in recent years is that you can defy the odds, you can prove it, and you can surprise the heck out of everybody. And my challenge to my fellow Monarchs is who's going to step up? Like you guys talk about, like, gritty Mitty is the saying over there. So if you're going to be gritty, who's going to step up and do that? So that's my challenge to you guys. Take every game one at a time, but everyone's got to step up. Let's bring a crown back home. We need it.
Do you really?
Yes. I do. I do believe it. Like, I think they can. They got a good, hey, continuity. That's the one thing. Like, everything is there. You just got to do it. Here we go.
Next game. St. Ignatius at San Ramon Valley. Ooh, I just saw SI, and I was very impressed with the running backs, Malone and Hogan. They also have a really good big-time kicker. I can see this kid, Kenny, Audrin Kenny. Audrin Kenny. I hope I'm saying your first name wrong. Mr. Kenny. He looks like a college kicker already. He's tall. He's got that boot. I think this might end up being a last possession kind of a game where Mr. Kenny is given the opportunity to kick a game winner. But the number one linebacker in the nation, I believe, Marco Jones, is going to have fun with these two running backs from SI. Soren looked pretty good, the quarterback from SI. I didn't see a lot of passing from SI. So I don't know. I think they're going to be running the ball a lot. Either that or they didn't really reveal it. So defensively, yeah, SI looks good. This is going to reveal a lot of their talents, just like the Serra game. So I am going to pick St. Ignatius, the Wildcats, to beat San Ramon Valley. This is going to be an upset if they beat San Ramon Valley, I believe. Because San Ramon Valley, yeah.
No, I mean, that's why I'm going with San Ramon Valley.
Okay.
Okay, off the presidents, because this kicking is the reason why Mitty lost to SI last year. And previous times before, it always comes down to a dang kick. So I don't want that to happen. So I want San Ramon Valley, who traditionally is always a contender. And from what we know is that O-line is back. So if you can't even get in there, like, you're going to have a hard time. So you're just going to let the offensive skills, which San Ramon Valley, offensive skills wise, they always have such good playmakers over there. So if you let them just go to work, they'll drop a lot of points on you. And, everything lives and dies with the line. So if you have this whole line coming back who is battle tested, they've gone really far, they play really good teams all year. It's going to be a tough one. So you're right. It is going to be a tough one if SI can pull the upset. But that's a big if. I don't think they're going to do it.
I think they're going to do it. It's going to come down to it. Maybe like a 24-21 game.
Because of a kicker.
Because of Kenny. Yes. Kenny is going to be the special teams player of the week. I'm calling it right now.
All right. All right.
Oh, yeah. We got our weekly awards starting next week, people. So make sure you guys nominate your players or send it via the form or DM on social media. Instagram is probably the best one. Okay, so we're done with that. We got Logan, Mitty out of the way. Los Gatos versus Soquel. This game was epic last year, the first game of the season. And this is when I first thought about Jalen Thomas being a player of the year player. First game of the season. The way he performed in that game against Soquel, I was like, wow, if he could do this every single game, he's going to be the best player in the section. And guess what? He was. He ended up being the player of the year. So Soquel, they won the state title. They graduated some really, really big talents, though. So I don't know. Well, so did Los Gatos. So Los Gatos, I think Coach Brandon's son is the QB, right?
I believe so. But
yeah.
see, like you're talking about, we keep talking about the Los Gatos of last year.
Hey, Jalen Thomas graduated, but you know what? They have another Thomas on this squad that caught my attention over the summer. His name is Max Thomas.
Yeah, but Soquel has this thing called a state championship that they're coming off of, and I know a good amount of their team's coming back. And that coaching staff is so good over there. Like just the way that they got like the guys bought in. I remember like listening to the interviews about it, and then talking to some of the players at the end of the CCS game last year, and it's just like whatever they did over there, whatever culture they're setting up over there, like this is going to be a long run for Soquel, and that's exciting to see. So honestly, like, yeah, Los Gatos, cool. They're always going to be good. Hey, look, prove me wrong, but
they got Max Thomas, 6'4", 190. He's a junior. He's a playmaker.
You have a defending state champion with majority of the team coming back. So
they got their defensive end back. I think Scotty's about to. This is gonna be a good game for Scotty. He's gonna.
We'll see. But I'm putting my favor in Soquel just because of like, there's a lot of momentum coming off of last season, and they want to keep it going. That's huge. So. They got their work cut out for them anyways. Regardless, both teams have their work cut out for each other. With this game, it's going to be a physical game. Like I know that for sure. That's going to be a physical game.
It's going to be a physical game, but you know what? The game is at Soquel.
Right.
Be physical, and it's going to be a party.
It's going to be loud.
They have the best sound system that I've ever heard. So with that, that's a game changer for me. I'm going to pick Soquel. It's going to be a big win for Soquel. I don't know. They might even put up over 35 points. Los Gatos, I'm sure they're going to put up a lot of points as well. So this is going to be a high-scoring game. But I'll give the edge to Soquel because of the music system, because of the sound system. That's the game changer here, the environment. If this was at Los Gatos, then I'll give it to Los Gatos. But just for that sound system, Soquel, I'm picking you guys. This sounds really bad.
It does, but you know what?
We're making predictions based on sound system.
Hold on. No. Home field advantage is so crucial in anything. I don't care. Like, that's why, like, it is tough to like pick some of these games because, like, you might have the severely talented team, but that home field advantage plays a big part into how the outcome happens. Like if you can't even hear anything, you're not going to do anything. So it doesn't really even matter.
Yeah, it's true. And they have a very good security at Soquel, by the way, because I got never mind. I was about to be at certain areas of the field, which I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Don't you know who I am? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh dear. We're
Next
famous,
game. We're almost
guys.
done. We're almost done. Next game. Valley Christian at Wilcox. I'm excited to see my boy, Marcel Leggett, with his pink cleats on, running all over the place. But it's going to be tough because on the other side is Bray Rosa. This kid's elite, coach. He's got the brains. His brain is made out of football. He's got a football brain. He's very smart. And he's a GSF All-Star.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. And so is Marcel. Champ is going to be in action. I'm excited to see Champ perform as well. This is good. This is a big game. This is a big South Bay, kind of a rivalry, really.
Yeah, this is
Valley.
I would say like traditionally, like, if you really look at it, like some of the, especially in the South Bay, the schools that usually go like toe to toe with like the WCAL is usually like is Wilcox,
Gatos.
Los Gatos, Palo Alto.
Yeah.
Like even back then, like, that's you usually saw them like always playing like a West Catholic school like in the CCS playoffs. So it's like this is always fun to watch. Like it's always going to be a good game, like no matter what. If history has taught me anything, is don't pick against my wife and her school. So I'm not going to ever again.
Oh, that's right. And Coach Roma went to Wilcox too.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to pick Wilcox. Just because I don't want to keep coming home to like crap because I don't. I got to put some respect on the Chargers because they've earned like they've always had it. Like, they're very well coached, and they get better as the season goes on. Like,
yeah,
that's just what happens. We're gonna be seeing them again in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, for all you young couples out there who go to a Valley Christian or Wilcox, or if you're just a high school football fan, this is a perfect game to go to because this game is gonna just be there on time because it's gonna end before you know it. Because both of these teams, they run. Clock's gonna tick, and then you'll have time to go for a late dinner or maybe a late movie. So, but I'm picking Valley Christian. I'm gonna go with the War Boys. That's a classic right there. War Boys. That's back when Johnson Brothers was still there. I'm gonna go with Valley. Jordan Vargas. Okay. Let's go, baby. Let's have a great game. This is another star that we're watching. Jordan Vargas, obviously Marcel, Champ.
And some young kids.
I don't want to say a score, but 21-14 Valley. What do you think?
Well, this is gonna be a good one. It's like all these teams. It's like the battle of like the young kids. Like all these teams are young now, so it's gonna be good.
This is the Coach Amoka Bowl because I know there's a lot of DT on both teams.
There you go.
This is the what are they called? The DT Bowl.
DT Bowl. There you go. I like it. That's funny.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of speed showcased in this game. Last but not least, we got Xander. We got Devin against Reese and Nick. Actually, more like Hank, too. Bellarmine, Sunday afternoon at Menlo-Atherton. Hopefully, I'm back by then because I do want to cover this game. Going to St. Francis game in San Diego, coming back the next day, early morning. Hopefully, I can make it there. But this is a big game for the Bellarmine Bells because it's been rough, right? For Menlo-Atherton, they looked pretty good against SI. Devin Hyde's a big dude. Not gonna lie, he's one of the biggest players in the CCS. Big as in like size wise. So he was out there, but for a little bit. You know, I don't think they played a lot of their starters. But Xander didn't even play against SI. So I mean, it was a scrimmage, but I'll pick the Bell Boys.
Me too. Like,
no 5-star recruit in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I like Bellarmine for this. You know, they got a lot to prove this
They have a
year.
lot to prove, yeah.
They have a lot to prove, but you know, you got good leadership there. Like, you know, Nick Weber, got to see him in a lot of GSF stuff. And then you have Reese McKeever, Gilroy boy, you know, representing it for Garlic Town. So, you know, and they seem like, you know, they're that's a good leader. That's a good leaders right there. I mean, especially with, you know, who they're following up behind. Like, you know, you have Nick who's stepping in like after Parker left, and Parker was a great leader, and I know him and Nick got along very well. So, you know, they're not going to lose a step, you know, going from Parker to Nick. So, and I think this might be a surprise. I think Bellarmine is going to surprise a lot of people this year because this group will turn it around.
So we made our WCAL record prediction, I guess. Before this
one more game.
We do?
Yeah, game of the week.
Oh, I totally forgot. On Thursday, in about 2 days, Alejandro Flores is going to be at Christopher High for the GSF game of the week. Coach Andrew's probably going to be there because he's from Gilroy. It's going to be Carmel at Christopher. You got an Alabama commit, Jackson Lloyd, taking on one of the best QBs in the section, Jackson Robinson. I'm gonna go with the Bama boys. I'm gonna go with the Bama commit. I know Christopher is your team, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna pick your Christopher, but I just think the last year that I think both teams were 14-1, right? Carmel just looks a little bit stronger with what they got going on as far as the roster. A lot of these predictions are based on rosters right now because we haven't really seen a lot of these guys play. But I think it's going to be a really good challenge for Christopher. Hey, prove me wrong, Jackson. Josiah.
No,
Coach
like,
Andrew.
It is like, honestly.
How come you're
like,
not coaching Christopher, by the way?
I am retired for
Awkward.
sure. Awkward.
I thought you were going to be the next coach at Christopher, to be honest. No, I really thought you were. I was like, oh, Coach Andrew's probably going to be the next head coach at Christopher. But I'm sure they got somebody good and you know, going to take care of business. So
No, I like it, and you know, this is you kind of hit it right on the head right there. Like, this is an important game for Christopher,
Yep.
especially with a new coach. Like, this is a very important game for them to kind of, especially for it's more for the new coach to kind of establish himself, like, you know, in this league and, you know, in this area. So this is a very important game, and you know, he's got the playmakers. Like, yeah, you're right. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the section in Jackson Robinson. You got some lockdown DBs, Ty Green, Matt Bowles, Solomon.
Waller, right? Is Waller healthy?
Ray Waller is healthy this year.
Nice.
Thanks to Coach Andrew and everything that I had to do for this child. No, honestly, like, we worked a lot to get him back and actually make him better than he was last year. So, you know, you got, like, you called out Josiah, and then honestly, there's a lot of other playmakers on this team. You just got to let them work. So this is a really big game for Christopher. I would say in a momentum swing, for them to kind of show that they're like, you came up short last season. And every season before that, we like that whole team has come up short.
They lost to Soquel, right?
They lost to Soquel in the finals. And then they lost the year before, which was their first year in Division II. And then they lost in the finals to Sacred Heart Cathedral in D3. So you can tell like they've gotten better every year. It's just, what are you gonna do to push yourself to the next spot? Like, what are you gonna do? Now, it's important. This game's important, and this is for like every team. This is important because like the scheduling and like who you guys play is super important because it affects your postseason.
Yeah.
So, that's why I said like all of it does.
All I gotta say is working with Coach Andrew and I got to meet and know and work with some of the Christopher boys. They're very well-mannered kids. It's like you don't even have to worry about them engaging in any kind of like dumbass things like other teams. So it's gonna be a good game. I'm picking against you guys because I want you to prove me wrong. But I've looked up some stuff about Carmel, and they just look just they just look a little bit ahead from my research. So I don't know.
Obviously, like I'm gonna go with my Christopher boys because I know what they can do and I know what potential they have. And I want to see it.
Carmel.
No. Not at all.
No. Well, we'll find out in a couple of days. We're going to have the iconic GSF MVP, Game of the Week MVP shirt and Playmaker shirt up for grabs. And we will be crowning a lineman of the week from this game as well. This is the big game. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for the season, Coach. I'm glad it's here finally. Everything went fast. We were just wrapping up our GSF All-Star game, and now we're back at it.
Yeah, it was like GSF All-Star game, then Sevens. I was in Panther season, and now we're here.
Now we're here. So to all the teams that we didn't mention, we'll probably see some of you guys this season and we'll pick your games. But for now, game of the week: Carmel Christopher, St. Francis Helix, Serra Folsom, Riordan Mac, Grant de La Salle, St. Ignatius Sarmon Valley, Mitty Logan, Los Gatos Soquel, Valley Christian Wilcox, and Saturday, Bellarmine at Menlo-Atherton. It's going to be hot. So there you go. Make us proud. Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong.
GSF Weekly. That's Coach Andrew. And I'm the GSF guy. We'll see how we do in this predictions. If you guys have any ideas on what we could do to reward the winner at the end of the season. We're only doing this regular season, right? It's only regular season.
Yeah, it's too hard to pick with the playoffs.
Yeah, regular season predictions every week. We're gonna come up with 10 games to predict. We're gonna do our best to predict these games, these outcomes, and we're gonna tally up the points. So if you get the score right, you get how many points?
How
about you get a bonus 5?
Sure. Let's because it's got to be like you have to be like spot on.
Yeah, you got to be. It can't be like 17-21 and the score is like 17-19. It's got to be. You got to be spot on. So 5 points. If the score is exactly what you said, the score is going to be.
And I'd say just one for the win.
For picking the right game, the right winner, 1 point.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're either Team Alpha or Team Coach Andrew.
There you go. All right. We will see you guys on the sideline.